Hey, good morning, fuckers, and welcome to another day at the Daily BM. I have Mikey with me. What's going on, brother?
Hey, what's happening, everybody?
And Anitra, welcome.
Hi. It's great to be back.
I know. It's great to have you here. Tell us a little bit about how things are developing for the Sun and Fun Flying and the Stoll Nation real quick before we jump into today's episode.
Well, I've got actually meetings today with lots of people at Sun and Fun. We've got our own new area now called the Bushwell Base Camp, which is brand new for us. We've never had that before. We've always kind of been a part of the Paradise City, and we're having forum tents and big parties and authentic jambalaya coming from Baton Rouge. The cook and the ingredients are being driven down from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and we're having big dinners, and it's going to be awesome.
So is this every day of the week that you're there?
Well, we fly. The demonstration is Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, but there is activities every day and every night at the Bushwell Base Camp.
So, Mike, food day is Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Just listen to
I gotcha.
You're picking up on that, were you not? I'm like, okay, I know what day's the show.
I'm trying to lose weight, so like food's no longer like a pleasure of mine.
Yeah, but most Louisiana style stuff and that's coming in is not. It's just high in salt usually.
Yeah,
it's like crawfish and seafood, right?
Well, what's jambalaya? It's like sausage and rice and.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Beans.
Just don't overeat.
Spices.
Crawfish. High protein.
It's all high protein.
Okra might have corn in it, depending on which type it is.
After wandering around Sun and Fun all day, just be mindful and save all your calories for the dinner that night.
Boom.
Okay.
He goes, okay. I gotta say something before we get going. So I realized this morning, being old really fucking sucks. Okay, so I was literally sitting there going, oh my God, where are these hairs coming from? Like, I'm turning into my dad. I'm turning into like an old person so fast, rapidly. It's disgusting.
Oh my gosh, that's insane.
Do you guys have that problem? Like getting old person problems?
No.
Well, so.
You never should ask a woman her age.
Here we go.
My birthday is in a couple weeks, actually. And I'm going to be 49, and I'm dealing with the perimenopause bullshit that comes with being a woman, and I let myself go, right? Okay, admittedly so, right? It was this great gym person and all that, and I let myself go because of the depression that can come with that. I didn't know what was wrong with me, but now that I started digging around and figuring it out, and so now I'm back at it. Right? Everything I'm a little slower. Metabolism's a little slower, but I mean, man, Daily BM, what a perfect name for the show for me this morning, right? So started taking, I made a mistake last night. I was, the Celtic sea salt that everyone's talking about. First of all, I was doing that before it was cool. And, so
I don't even know anything about Celtic sea salt.
Tell everybody what Celtic sea salt is.
So there's something like 60-something trace minerals in there that helps your cells in your body absorb the water so you don't piss it out all the time, right? So you take that. So I warm it up and at night, and I drank it before I went to bed last night, and then I take my magnesium. Two things happen. I think I put too much sea salt in there, right? And then I take my ZMA, zinc and magnesium capsule, go to sleep. I'm like in and out of consciousness, and I think I start tripping. I'm like lucid, like having crazy stuff going on in my brain because of all the magnesium. And let's just say I wasn't sure I was going to make it on the show this morning because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to stay out of the bathroom long enough.
Oh, Jesus.
There's nothing worse than a bathroom than a stomach problem because you can't go anywhere. I mean, you really can't. So if you got to take a dump, I don't know about the rest. I think Mike, maybe not. I don't know, Mike. I know we talked about it before, but I can't remember. But do you guys have problems taking a dump in public?
No.
Like Mike, I prefer not to do it. I mean, I will if there's no other option. But
yeah, I mean, if it's an emergency. I think
I will go on the side of the road and squat, sitting on the edge of my truck threshold with the door open. If I gotta go, I'm going.
Just eggs the ass out the door. Lets
there
it go.
You go.
I've had to do that a couple times on the road.
The last time I had a problem with that, I was with Mike, and we were at a client's, and we were shooting film, and I literally had to take the UTV and just haul, no pun intended, haul ass to the porta potty, man. And I lit that shit up over and over and over again. I had to keep running back. I mean, I ate this protein bar, and for some reason, when I eat these protein bars, it just upsets my stomach, so I stopped eating them. Mike, on that flight back, by the way, dude, I thought for sure I made a mistake eating that protein bar before we left. Because I went
you ate yours right before you left?
Yeah, dude. And I was like a dumbass.
Why? We ate food right before we got on the plane.
Because I was stupid. And I went like this. I was sitting there thinking in my mind, please don't have to take a shit. Please don't have to take a shit. Please don't have to take a shit. I did not want to Boeing bomb the airplane. Because, if you got an upset stomach, that smell can be brutal for the back of a plane or even the front of the plane. The people in first class or the people in low class is what I call it, which is where I was at the time.
Yeah, we were in the back of the plane.
We were in the back of the plane, and Mike hates.
And I had the option of moving to the front of the plane. That's how much of a good friend I am. I stayed back there with you.
That's the second time he's done that. But I think third time's going to be a
free upgrade.
He's going to upgrade and leave me in the back by myself. He's that guy.
There's a high probability of that happening.
So did you guys, changing gears away from let me go back to the old people problem. So I literally had a hair super long on the backside of my ear. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And I went, Jesus Christ, dude, that thing's 4.5 inches long. I don't know how in the hell, that thing just grows out overnight and just says, hello, And then I went and I had a hair on my nose coming in. I went, oh my God, I'm getting old man nose hairs. You know what I mean? So I plucked it and it started to bleed. And I was like, oh, really? This morning you decide you're going to bleed. And I've just noticed that I'm starting to get these little hairs in areas that I didn't have them before. I'm like,
I found one of those. I have one that grows by my nipple, and I just found it the other day by mistake, and it was probably an inch long. It looked like a pube. I'm like, where did that come from?
Oh, Jesus!
You got a hairy nipple.
No, but it's just one. It's just one.
Was it long or was it short?
No, it was long.
Oh my gosh.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, talk about random hairs. And it was by chance, right? Because in the pre-conversation here, we were already talking about this stuff, right? So I'm like a double D, and I'm not exactly the perkiest right now. So I got the slope a little bit. So it was kind of underneath, and I was naked running around the room getting ready, and the mirror was just right, and I happened to catch it in the mirror. I'm like, what is that? I'm lifting it up. I'm like, what is that? Holy cow.
There is nothing worse than that, man. When you start hitting a certain age, you're just like, son of a bitch, man. Here it goes,
Yeah.
And then you just start having things start falling apart. I always like to compare the human body. If you don't keep maintenance on it and you let it run down, it's like a used car, man. It'll start breaking down on your ass,
My check engine light's been on for years.
Yeah. So you didn't take it in for a service? What's wrong with you, man?
You know how it is. There's just like with your car, there are sounds that sound. There's expensive sounds and not so expensive sounds, right? So it's like, oh, that's not so bad. We could go a couple more 1,000 miles with the check engine light on with that one.
Keep running it until it gives you a problem. Ain't that the truth, man? I literally have had that lately, man. I'm on a flat tire right now. That I'm on one of those 50-mile no flats. That's what I have with my knee right now. I can walk on it, but I got to go see the ortho. I got to go take it in for maintenance on Thursday. And I'm just sitting here going, oh my God, dude, this is killing me. So yeah, I feel you. Totally feel you on that.
But, look at this, right? Look at your beard. Look.
Did we lose her? Did we lose? Did you hit your mute button?
Phone call. I thought I don't know how to put it on Do Not Disturb.
Michael teach you.
I tried to find it.
Yeah.
Michael showed you.
So our hair, right? So you know me when I was younger. I was a brunette.
Right.
This is natural. I don't color my hair. It's holy cow.
But that's cool because if you don't now, you can save money on hair color Because I don't know about you guys, but all services are expensive.
Yeah, but check this out. So before this Frozen Elsa movie came out, however many years ago, right? It wasn't cool to have white hair. And the amount of money that I spent covering it up all those years, and now I've got women coming up to me asking me who my colorist is, and they're paying thousands of dollars to try to get this hair color.
Just so you know, Frozen came out a decade ago. Actually, 11 years ago.
I saw the look on Mike's face. I knew he was like on Google researching it because this is what he does on the daily. BM on the daily, he will fucking go and search that shit. And go, hey, just FYI.
Well, only reason I did it is because I was wondering. She's like a couple years ago, and I was like, well, they've already got a Disney Cruise Line out, and I went on that when it came out like 3 years ago. So how old is that freaking movie?
You know what? That's part of the age thing, right? Fucking time isn't the same.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yep.
No concept of
like when time. When someone says 40 years ago, what do you picture? Like what do you picture 40 years ago?
Oh God, I don't know. So I don't do it like 40 years ago. For me, it's like the errors of the decades. Right? So what was it? It's like how's
1990 was like 40 years ago.
Right. I know.
I hate you, Mike. I fucking hate him. I really hate this dude. I have such a love-hate for this guy. You have no idea.
So then what's the 40 years backwards?
1985 was 4 years, 1985 was 4 years ago, or 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the 80 is 85.
I was in high school.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. 40 years ago in high school. No wonder I'm getting old man hairs.
But when you think, but when I think about it, like I'm still picturing like people riding around like in their 1957, like Bel Airs and.
That was my dad's era.
The middle of like World War II, like that's 40 years ago in my brain.
Oh my gosh! I think of mullets and Aquanet and.
Well, that's when you think of the 80s. I mean, it's when I'm thinking, that's when I think of the 80s, but I don't feel like the 80s were that long ago.
Yeah, it was 40 years ago.
I know. No, I know. I know the reality of it.
Jeez Louise, man.
It's so weird.
I know. And to me, like, I guess every generation says their era was the coolest. But I really, truly believe the 80s, late 70s, and then all the way up to the mid-late 80s was always, to me, is still the best era. The 90s were okay.
Meh.
So, I don't know. I kind of appreciate all of them. Like, I love the glamour of, like, the 20s and the 30s and the bootlegging and the clothes. And, like, that was awesome. Like, those women have very distinctive looks, but... And like the hippies and then what was it, disco, but boy, the 80s definitely. I was at the Strawberry Festival with my mother this past week. That's what she wanted to do for her birthday, and we went into this like Strawberry Hall of Fame of all of the queens or whatever they are. They crowned the Strawberry
Queen,
whatever her title is. I don't know, but it's the whole wall of them. And boy, let me tell you what, that like 82 to like 91, it's like, wow, look at that hair and the makeup and the blue eyeliner, and it's like, oh wow.
I guess you're kind of right. I mean, you got the 20s era with the flapper girls, things like that. Then I get, to me, the lost decade out of all of it would be the 30s. If you really think about it, because you got the 20s, and you don't really hear about the 30s, but you hear about the 40s and the.
Well, that's because it was the Great Depression.
Oh, so everybody wanted to forget about it?
Yeah, 1929 was when the Great Depression started.
Yeah. So the 30s kind of get lost in that mix, and then you get to the 40s, and then the 50s were like really talked about because that was the, the high school like leather jacket gangs, the T-Birds, you know what I mean, and stuff like that.
Cool.
And then the cool, they had their hair slicked back with the cigarettes under their, the packs under their sleeves on their T-shirts.
Everybody was a bunch of Fonzies running around.
Yeah, exactly. Riding motorcycles, being cool. Hot rods.
Leading up to World War II. We already had World War One. World War One was happening during that time.
What? During the 50s?
During the 30s.
Was World War One in the 30s? I thought that was World War leading up to World War II. I thought
World War II was like 1939, 1945, and then
right.
And the World War One was like 1910 to 1930, I think, something like that.
Yeah, it was it was 2000. It was
Damn, there you go.
it was July 1914 to November 1918. Actually,
Yeah,
is
there
when
you go.
Yeah,
World
because
War
I
One
was
was.
thinking the Titanic went down in 1913, and they wouldn't have been hooping it up like that in Europe if the war was going on.
Right. But then you had the 60s, like you said, that was the peace, love, and drugs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you had the
Free
70s
love.
era. Well, the 70s era was disco and cocaine, really, if you think about it. That was when the big cocaine rush came. And then the 80s was just sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And then the 90s was the grunge era.
Yeah.
And another generation that might have got lost, guys, was the 2000s. What did they classify that era as? Hip hop? Or I mean, actually, hip hop was in the 90s, right? Along with the grunge.
Y2K.
Well, I think so. Like you had, what was it? So like you have Run DMC and the Beastie Boys, but those were considered rap, and then I think it evolved into hip hop, and then like this gangster rap stuff started happening, and so there's been a big evolution in that genre in itself too.
When was where were you guys at Y2K? What exactly were you doing when that thing went down in that when the clock struck midnight?
I was in Ybor City.
You were?
I think I was too.
On New Year's Eve. Yeah.
I was too.
What were you guys doing there? Just partying down?
Yeah.
I was at seminary Bible school. What the hell do you think you do at Ybor City on New Year's Eve? What kind of dumbass question was that?
I'm asking a fucking question.
I was drunk. I was fucking drunk, waiting for the world to end.
I was
waiting for the world to end.
Yeah.
I was at the house having a party. I had like 20 people at the house, and a buddy of mine at the time, he went into the garage. And as soon as we were all counting down, 10, 9, 8, 7, he was an electrician. He went into the panel and hit my breaker and shut down the whole house. And everybody just kind of looked at each other because we were all drinking. We were all fucked up, man. And we were all like, what the fuck? I went, oh my God, dude, it happened. And all of a sudden we could hear him just busted out laughing, in the garages. Everybody was like in panic mode because the power went out. And we were all been drinking. It's so heavy, So, of course, the first thing in your head is, oh my God, the computers took over. Here we go. John Connor.
Speaking of that, how about everything going down on Super Tuesday?
Walk us through that one.
Yeah.
So, okay, because of what I do, I manage a lot of social media accounts for some of the pilots that I work with and some of the events that I work with. And I have to monitor those a lot through the day. And about 10 o'clock, I thought something went wrong. It said my passwords are all wrong, and it booted me out. And I tried to put it in and tried to change it, and nothing would work. And it was down for about over an hour, I believe, where Instagram and Facebook were all down. And then they wanted you to log in with your Google stuff. And it was just a mess for about an hour. And I don't know, over an hour. I don't know exactly how long. But I can tell you, and I was just walking with my girlfriend this morning. She works for a really big company here in town. And some of their software stuff has been really funky since. My phone, all my immediate phone contacts, my mom, my sister, and my daughter, they were no longer stored in my phone. Their names were no longer programmed in. I would try to tell Siri to call my mom, and it would try to call some random person that who God knows how long they've been stored in my phone. And my sister, I'd tell it to call my sister, Shayna, and it would start calling me. It would try to call me. It was all a mess, and it's still not right. My phone's all jacked up.
Jeez.
We could talk about conspiracy theories because I have one on the next episode if you guys choose to do so, because we're about out of time on this one. Okay. But I'm thinking I got some things I want to talk about on the next one. So anyway, let's get out of here, guys.
You're fucking crazy until you're not.
All right, guys. Well, listen, don't forget, head over to thedailyvm.com where you can find all of our socials. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on all streaming platforms. Mikey, you got anything before we get out of here?
Hey, everybody, have a great day.
And Anitra, thank you again. We're going to have you on the next episode as well.
Awesome.
All right, guys. So we'll catch you guys on the flip side.
Deuces.